Alright, what's going on, everybody? Finally! Oh my god. Can you guys believe it? We finally have something to predict. Boxing's been lacking, UFC's been lacking, Misfits Boxing even has been lacking. I had to talk about Adam 22 versus Jason Love. A damn sword fight prediction on this channel before another UFC prediction. That's crazy, isn't it? So what I'm going to be doing is giving my predictions for the full main card of UFC 324 and giving my breakdown to it. But real quick, before I get into the video, 94% of you guys aren't subscribed. So if you like these type of videos, I post consistently around here, so make sure you subscribe. So first, we'll talk about the main event, since that's why you guys clicked on the video. Then I'll start at the bottom and then work my way up the main card, just so you guys know what's going on in my yappery, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Is this the most undeserving title shot of all time? Probably. Justin Gaethje is coming off one win and threatened retirement, and then Dana just listened to him. So now the UFC has that problem now. Fighters think that they call the shots. And Paddy Pimblett did a little magic trick to get himself higher up in the rankings. He was inactive. They just teleported up there. Who knows? But they were going to try to do Ilia Topuria versus Paddy on this event. And obviously Ilia Topuria is battling his own issues right now, which seemingly is going well. And it seems like his return is already confirmed for the White House card, I believe. So the winner of this is going to be the main event on the White House card versus Ilia Topuria. And hopefully it's still Paddy. I hate to hate on Justin, but I think he's past his prime, especially with his ability recently. The Fiziev fight was really, really sloppy. It was really sloppy. It wasn't even a great win. He was doing these sloppy clinches and trying to throw his winging hooks. And to be fair, Paddy Pimblett does throw his chin wide open in the air and swings it around like he's twerking with his face. So it could be a real possibility that he gets caught on one of those. But Paddy's actually pretty good at being elusive and moving. He's light on his feet. He has nice side kicks to the body, and he's able to keep distance a good amount. Chandler was able to walk him down, but Gaethje kind of just plots forward now. The thing is with Gaethje, he's always had like unreal power and pretty good wrestling as well to match with it, right? And he's even lost a touch with wrestling because he just lost that burst that he had before, right? So he doesn't have the accuracy anymore. He doesn't have the burst to land his big power shots. And I think he could land on Paddy, but he's eaten most of the power shots he took. I don't think Gaethje is the most powerful he's ever been. I think there's an opportunity for Gaethje to knock him out, but I think it requires a lot more linear moving forward, and I can't see Gaethje being able to close the distance efficiently. I see Paddy bullying him at distance, and then like I said, I think Gaethje might be able to do well on the ground, like surviving, you know what I mean, like wrestling. I don't think he's gonna do great with takedown defense. I see people saying memes like, oh, when Paddy Pimblett realizes he can't take down Gaethje, he's fucked. I don't even think that's the case. Because Paddy's unpredictable, he's fast, he's way faster than Justin Gaethje right now. Yeah, he's open to hit, but is Gaethje going to be able to land the shots? I don't know. Would it be ideal for Justin Gaethje to win this fight? Absolutely not. The things that Paddy Pimblett would do to Gaethje, to be fair, I think Ilya absolutely sparks out Paddy also. But, you know, now that Paddy is getting pushed as this is his whole moment to be the champion, right? It might be the only opportunity because, to be honest, I think Arman and Ilya beats him. So he should be glad that that fight didn't happen. But this is great for the UFC. They could capitalize on his name. He's the main event of the first big non-pay-per-view card. And I think he's going to win. I think he's going to get Gaethje out of there. His jiu-jitsu is elite. His distance management is elite. Again, there was opportunities where Chandler had where he really shouldn't have. And I think Paddy's going to tear up Justin Gaethje's legs as well with low kicks. Because Gaethje just stands there, dude. He just stands there and walks forward. He has been very sloppy in recent years. That's why, man, they should have just gave Arman a shot. Paddy versus Arman also would have been a bigger fight and more justifiable. Because no matter what, it's going to be a real belt, right? But does it really feel like it? I don't know. But I'm going to say that Paddy Pimblett submits Justin Gaethje in round 3. I think Gaethje's going to be difficult to finish on the ground. I don't think Paddy has the power to land on Justin Gaethje, even though he does duck his head, and Paddy likes throwing a flying knee. Maybe that can happen, right? Because Gaethje just whoop, 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 That's his game plan in his old age now. And apparently that's title worthy, according to Dana. I don't know what other thing they could have conjured up that's not Arman Tsarukyan, but I don't know, man. I got Paddy Pimblett by round 3 submission. I think that, I mean, it could end, I hope it ends up being a good fight. I just don't have high hopes for Gaethje, to be honest with you, especially at this level now. Do I think Paddy Pimblett is championship level at this point? No. I mean, I think Paddy beats Fiziev pretty convincingly. You know what I mean? So, I got Paddy Pimblett by round 3 submission. I don't want to completely count Gaethje out just because Paddy Pimblett, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think he's going to be able to get close enough. And if he gets close enough, I don't think Paddy's too erratic. He's not going to be able to land on him. He's not. And if he does, Paddy could probably eat it. I could be wrong. I might edit Paddy getting knocked out in a future short. So if that's the case, shout out to Gaethje to giving me more content. But it would be crazy if Gaethje won, right? But it wouldn't be good for the UFC, and I just don't see it. So I got Paddy by round 3 submission. So the first fight that got moved onto the card because one of the fights got canceled, Rose Namajunas versus Natalia Silva. Now, I expressed how much I missed the UFC and how much I missed doing predictions, but not this much. Next fight, Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. Now, this is my pick for fight of the night. I don't know about you guys, but this is an incredible matchmaking by the UFC. I think Arnold Allen is very underrated. He has a deep bag. He's one of these fighters that can just pressure you. He has great boxing combinations. We don't see that a lot in UFC. 5, 6, 7. Fuck. Just forget it. Combinations that we don't really see people put on these long combinations. We don't see a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta say, he is a bit too wild with it, and he opens up a shit ton. And Gene Silva has one of the best left hooks in the whole UFC, and the fighting nerds have a problem with pressure in general, but I would say he could fight walking backwards pretty well. And he got knocked out by Diego Lopez, but that was a good fight up until that point, and he just got caught. And Diego Lopez is on top of the division for a reason, you know what I mean? I think Gene Silva is a very special striker, and if Arnold Allen was able to tighten up, I think I would pick Arnold Allen in this fight. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, he's very underrated. But I don't know. He's going to swing wild at some point. It's just a part of his nature. And Gene Silva is probably going to catch him. And I don't know how I feel about Arnold Allen's chin, especially getting hit by Gene Silva. So I'm going to say Gene Silva knockout in round 2. I think a counter shot's going to get Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen is going to try to set the pace. He's going to try to set the pressure and move Gene Silva back. And I think inevitably it's going to get him running into something. But if Arnold Allen comes in tight and shows his submission bag and tries to get Gene Silva, try to grapple him, I feel like that's a question mark because Gene Silva showed that he could grapple against Bryce Mitchell as well. But Arnold Allen, everybody knew he can grapple. You know what I mean? So it'll be very interesting on the ground. I'm not sure about that, to be fair with you. I think it's going to be mainly a stand-up fight. But I think that Arnold Allen is going to try to put Gene Silva up against the cage and do work that way. Because in the center of the ring, he's dangerous. Moving back, Arnold Allen might want to bet on himself a bit more, and you definitely don't want to get pushed back by Gene Silva. That's for damn sure. But I think Arnold Allen's going to come in with a wild combination and get clipped by a left hook and finish in round 2. Next fight, Waldo Cortez-Acosta versus Derek Lewis. Now, this is another banger too. This is overall a great card overall. This is another great banger. Heavyweight fights are always exciting, and what I gotta say about Derek Lewis, he has mastered the art of tomfoolery and unpredictability. We've seen it in a bunch of his fights. In his last fight versus Talison Texera, faked an eye poke and then got the finish. You know what I'm saying? Is that type of stuff. And Waldo Cortez-Acosta also seems to have that goofy stuff happen to him too. But this is an interesting fight for me, in my opinion, because Waldo Cortez-Acosta is a great athlete. He used to actually play baseball before he went to UFC. I think his footwork and his movement is going to be way better. But besides that, I think Derek Lewis got him beat basically all around. Because if you get close to him, he's going to land a winging shot and hurt you badly. And you're not going to see it coming because it could be, for fuck's sake, you could throw a spinning back kick at the beginning of this fight. You really can't predict what the fuck he's going to do, which makes him very dangerous. He has underrated grappling and ground and pound as well, with Because I can see Cortez-Aosta also trying to mix in grappling into this fight, because he has throughout his entire career, and he's a pretty good balanced heavyweight. But I feel like this is a little bit past his league here, just because Derek Lewis just has that dynamic finishing ability. And yeah, Cortez-Aosta has had some finishes himself, but not to the level of Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is finding ways to, like, he needs to find new ways to knock people out. You know what I'm saying? He might invent it this Saturday. You know what I'm saying? We might see something that we've never seen before from Derek Lewis in this fight. So there could be grappling involved in this fight, but I could either see it going, it's just going to be a scrap boxing match for the most part, and I think Derek Lewis wins that. Or Cortez-Aosta tries to point fight him and move, which he's done in previous fights before. That'll be smart for him, because I don't even think grappling will go with him. Derek Lewis has invented the just get up technique in MMA, so I don't know if you want to play with that. But Cortez-Aosta isn't bad, and he has some good punches, but he also doesn't respond well to getting wailed on. We've seen it in previous fights where he seems very awkward in those exchanges. So if he gets into an exchange where he's on the cage, he's going to go out cold, which, to be fair, I think is going to happen. I think that Derek Lewis is going to knock out Cortez-Aosta. It's either going to be round 1 or 2. Would it be crazy for me to say a round 1 knockout for Derek Lewis? Because this would also put him in a big spot in the division. He's been winning out. He beat a big prospect in Teixeira, and Cortez is also another big prospect. If he wins, if you give him a title shot, is anybody going to complain about that? Derek Lewis at the White House? Obviously, they're going to do Pereira versus Gane, I think, but you get the point. Triple threat match, baby. Cyril Gane, Derek Lewis, and Alex Pereira. Sign me up. But, yeah, I got Derek Lewis. You know what? I'm going to be bold. I think Derek Lewis knocks out Cortez-Aosta in round 1. That's not me saying that Cortez-Aosta is sorry or anything, but I've seen too many exchanges where he doesn't handle being in the fire that well. And I think he's going to get knocked out because of it. Now for the co-main event. Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Not my dong, because it's not me versus your mother in the main event. You understand me? But this is a make-or-break fight for Sean O'Malley. He is such a social media icon at this point. If he's on the losing side of the UFC and he keeps dropping down and down the rankings, this could be it for Sean O'Malley. He doesn't need to do this if he's on the downturn. He doesn't need the extra brain damage. But I will say I feel good about him in this fight, because don't get me wrong, Song Yadong is dangerous and he is explosive. And he really relies on closing the distance with explosive punches. And he does a great job getting out of range. He has quick feet and he's explosive in general. He can close and open up the distance in a split second. And Sean O'Malley has that hand speed that he was known for. The accuracy, the volume punching. And I think that this is going to be too much for Song Yadong, because yes, if we get into a phone booth, it will be an absolute nightmare for Sean O'Malley. But we've seen it in Sean O'Malley's fights sometimes. He is able to stick and move, and then frustrate the hell out of you. So you aggressively close the distance, and then you get caught with something. Now, Song Yadong is a tough motherfucker. So Sean O'Malley is going to have to be on his high horse here. He's got to be on his bike. And I think Song Yadong is going to mix in grappling as well. Uriah Faber is his head coach, so he's definitely getting better and better as a well-rounded fighter. And I have no doubt that he's going to try to pressure and wrestle Sean O'Malley, at least at some point in this fight. It might even be his main game plan. We're going to have to see, but we haven't really seen it be the main game plan of Song Yadong's yet so far, because he has shown great ground and pound and great finishing ability. But so has Sean O'Malley. Not really in recent years since the Aljo finish, but he really is accurate, and he is powerful, but I don't think he's as powerful as Song Yadong, so there can't be any aura farming, there can't be any of that. There's got to be sticking body kicks, front kick, kick to the body, kicks to the leg, move. Try to set up the front kick upstairs, try to set up a kick upstairs, because I don't think a punch will put Song Yadong out, in my opinion. Now, I got Sean O'Malley by decision. I think the Song Yadong is going to struggle with Sean O'Malley's length, and he's not going to be able to close the distance striking like he wants to, so that's why I think he's going to implement the grappling. And I think this is a great opportunity for Sean O'Malley to show that he actually has some good defensive wrestling. He just faced Merab twice. You know what I'm saying? And O'Malley's beaten Peter Yan, and Peter Yan just ragdolled Merab. Was it an activity thing? I don't know. Obviously, we're going to see that rematch very soon. But I got Sean O'Malley by decision here. I think Song Yadong is really good, and he is a freakish athlete and explosive. I don't think Sean O'Malley is going to have the water to put out the fire, and I think he's going to fight a frustrating fight for Song Yadong. I think it's going to be a masterclass for the fans. He mixes up his strikes very well. He has some of the best shot selection in the UFC. And Song Yadong doesn't really move his head and be on a swivel and constantly change levels like Merab. So there's going to be more opportunities for him to catch him. But it really just does depend how much is Song Yadong going to grapple in this fight. Because I think it could be his main game plan, but I don't know. Because O'Malley is a skinny frame dude. If Song Yadong lands on him clean, I don't think O'Malley's going to be able to take it. And I think Song Yadong's going to be able to take a shot from O'Malley, at least a punch. I don't think a knee or a kick like Chito Vera's superhuman ass took. But yeah, I got Sean O'Malley by decision. That's all I had to say for you guys today, man. That was my predictions for UFC 324. If you guys disagree, agree, please let me know in the comments. I'm never offended by debate. So feel free to call me stupid. And why do you think this is going to happen? Huh? Why do you think this is going to happen? Please hit me with all that. I'll happily explain it and debate it in the comments. Make sure you guys like the video. Subscribe, turn on notifications if you want to see more of me. There definitely will be more of me since there's actually a news cycle starting again. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to be on Demon Time. I used to do 3 or 4 posts a week. I'm going to try to do more than that now. This week has been rough because I've been doing bartending school and it's been kicking my ass. But one more day. Hopefully I don't flunk out the last class tomorrow. We'll see what happens. So thank you guys for listening to me yap like usual. God bless every single one of you. And peace out.